When I was about 9, Busted was like the thing. I wanted to be in a massive rock band, and that's where kind of like the whole guitar thing come from. So I kind of taught myself to play guitar, and I'd always listened to like pop music, but it was only kind of the last couple of years that I found that the things that really get me going are like when you listen to a song and you don't have a clue what it's saying, like the words don't make sense the first time you listen to it. So I kind of take that aspect of music and try and put it in my own songs, and just kind of make people think. I like using words to mess with people's brains in a good way. But yeah, I take influences from so many people, so many different genres. I mean, just like the people on stage, and you know, that song sounded completely different last week, and when I showed it to the boys, we played it and it just sounds so much further than it was before. And I take music influences from like jazz music, where the chords won't necessarily be heard in a pop song, and I just kind of try to make it my own in a way that's not forced. So yeah, I guess I just kind of try and keep things natural and organic, I think is the idea. But to see myself, I think, like, obviously the dream is to be a huge multi-platinum selling artist, but I think if I could come out in the next 10 years as just being known as an artist who people appreciate the music and kind of understand it, and you know, when they listen to the album they go like, thank you, like that's the kind of music, the feedback I want. I don't want people to be like, oh my god, I can't wait to go and party to this song. I want someone to be like, well, you know, that really, really meant something. So I think that's kind of the goal, yeah. Yeah.
I think that's really important, yeah. It's interesting you sort of say that this has changed recently, and because I heard the version that you originally sent in for this call was and this is a lot rockier and kind of earthier, isn't it? A lot grittier. So, you know, there are such little things we can do to music to make it suddenly transform into something which has a completely different sort of character underlying and things like that. Just by whether we have an extra lead guitar or what kind of box that guitar's gone through, all sorts of things. What the drummer decides to play, how minimal it is, whether it sounds a bit more industrial or a bit more, you know, a bit more grungy, or whether it's a bit more funky with a bit more hi-hat. Suddenly then it's kind of referencing different things, and your listeners are kind of hearing it in a really different way. So that's the really important thing, I think. You know, you're an amazing songwriter. It's really, really interesting, I think, how you're going to work with that in terms of a kind of production sense to make the kind of sounds that you want to sound in the kind of context that you want to make it, and how you kind of set yourself out as an artist. So yeah, I think, you know, just lots of listening. I've been trying to encourage today lots of listening, because we all hear the mainstream, don't we? So as soon as we switch the radio on, we hear the mainstream. That's no problem accessing that. But there are all sorts of really interesting things happening, obviously on the edges, right on the edges, by artists who kind of want to push boundaries and stuff, and they just kind of, you know, obsessed about doing that. And I've been mentioning a few songwriters today. There was a female songwriter earlier, and I was talking to her about somebody called Julia Holter, who's in, you know, check it out. I mean, she does it all herself. It's all her with laptop. It's amazing the things she does, and they're basically fairly mainstream songs, but she makes them kind of a whole other world, really. So.
I said that's the challenge, to make it your own. You know, anyone can write the same song as someone that's on the radio, but to make it your own, that's the hard.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, I think you'll go a long way, definitely. No doubt about it. You're very, very talented. Great song, well played, guys. I think it's a fantastic way to finish our final session of the day with the New Music Stage. So thank you so much for coming and playing for us. Cheers.